Hi everybody, I'm Mr. Stevens here. I'm going to answer a few of your questions that you've been asking. Let's go somewhere more quiet. So we're over in Colombia in South America, and one of the questions, did I have to go around the world with that? Well, it's across the Pacific on the other side of the Pacific Ocean, but it takes a long time to get here. It took about 32 hours, I think it was, in the airplane to get here. Last time we did it a couple of months ago. So yes, it's quite a distance, but we're here in a big city. As you can see behind us, there's lots of tall buildings and things. It's a city of Bogota of about 8 million people, and so it's twice the size of New Zealand all in one city, so it's pretty big. Now we're in the nicer north end of Bogota, about halfway from the outer extremities of the city to the center of Bogota, and then later it goes for just the same distance in the south. Colombia is about the same length from north to south as New Zealand, and to get to the indigenous tribe you've got to go down those mountains. Bogota is at the altitude of the Southern Alps of New Zealand, and you have to go over those mountains down the other side to the Amazon plains to get to the indigenous tribes. Now to get to that area it takes approximately 2 days to get there, and the last 6 hours are done on a motorbike because there are no roads for the last 6 hours, or the last 150 kilometers or so. So it's a long way. So is Colombia difficult to get to? Yes, it's a long way, and to get to the indigenous tribes even more difficult, and it's even difficult getting across the city. It takes 2 or 3 hours to get across it on a good day. Now the people speak Spanish here, and so the question, is it hard to learn Spanish? It's not hard, but it's very tiring and it takes a long time. Now even if you speak Spanish, your question, is it hard to get people's attention? Well, as you can see, everybody's pretty busy, and so it depends on the situation. Sometimes they're very open, and sometimes they won't even look at you, because it's scary if you look at them. They think you might rob them. Because we're on the equator, we don't have seasons, so it's very even, and so every area has its own food. But I like the chicken. And the best chicken of all is the rotisserie cooked chicken over charcoal. Absolutely delicious. Colombia is on the equator, so we have a lot of tropical fruits, and that's delicious too. Lots of variety all year round. And cheap. And now for some of the more serious questions. Why do I want to do this job? Well, when I was at high school, I could see life didn't really offer anything, and I realized that God exists. And so if God exists, then it's just logical to me that I would want to serve him. And so I asked him, where do you want me to go? What do you want me to do? And he indicated to me through quite a number of things to confirm that I was to come to South America. And why did I even come to Colombia? Well, that was actually a bit of a godly ordained, a God mistake. I was wanting to go somewhere else, and the plane took me to Colombia, and so that's how I got here, sort of by mistake. But I've been back and forth, and this is really where I like working. Now, how long did it take me to tell everyone? Yes. Well, it took about 3 years after God started showing me that South America was where I should go, before I was able to actually travel. And I went across a ship to Panama, and then into Colombia, and then all over the place. And it took quite a while, 15 years in New Zealand, before we working with the Sunday school in the Richmond Baptist, before we were, for about 8 years before we were able to tell the Missions Council and the church that we were going to come here. So it does take a long time sometimes. Now, my favourite outdoors activity combined with necessity of getting around, and that's bicycles. Riding the bike. I like riding the bike. It's cheaper, better for you. Bogota's flat, and we've got lots of cycle routes. And even though I'm on foot today, I do prefer the bicycle. Now, even though it can be interesting and fun and exciting, it can also be dangerous at times. And you asked, what's the worst situation I've got into? I've got into quite a number of them, but the last one time I went down to the Amazon plains for the indigenous groups, I never actually made it right there because there were too many guerrillas, that means bandits, in the area, and I could have got killed, so they recommended I skedaddle out of there. And also going down south, the last few times I went, you have to stay overnight because after 6 o'clock at night you can't go in the street or you'll get killed. So that gets a little bit tense at times. But God has been very good to me. I've only been mugged once at knife point, and they only got a couple of dollars, so that was okay, and I'm still alive. So yeah, it can get a bit dangerous. And what's my favourite animal? No, it's not dogs. The best one that I've seen was a tortoise.